Hope everyone is having a good day. Welcome back to the show. Guys, something crazy happened today on the PBD podcast with Cenk Uygur. It was absolutely crazy. They talked about RFK Jr. debating Anthony Fauci for $5 million. They go on to also talk about how the Democratic Party failed RFK Jr. by not having a primary and how he should have been there. They should have had an actual open debate. He should have been part of that conversation. And I just think that is great. So we're going to go ahead and talk about that. And Bernie Sanders actually said something today that leads people to believe that he is planning on voting to confirm RFK Jr. at his hearing. So there's a lot to talk about. So let's go ahead and get into it. Also, real quick, if you like to get your news and consume information on this channel, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Really does mean the world to me. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Here, I got a proposal, right? I like proposals. Why don't, now the election's over, Bobby is likely going to be the head of Health and Human Services. Now you got to debate him, right? Now they probably want to debate him. So why don't you and I, Pat, moderate a debate, okay? And I bet you they take it now. I don't know if Bobby will take it now because now he's going to be in charge potentially, right? But now that he's in this situation, whether it's before his confirmation, after his confirmation, but hell, before the confirmation would be amazing, right?
You think Peter Hotez would sit down with you two and RFK?
I don't care if it's him but give me your best son, someone that I agree with, right? Someone that believes in vaccines, someone that believes that the fluoride in the water is fine, whatever it is.
Who are the people?
But especially vaccines.
Yeah. Well, listen, I would personally give $5 million to a charity to sit down with a 3-hour podcast of Fauci and RFK, and he would never do it.
Never.
$5 million to any vaccine injured people. Matter of fact, Fauci gets to choose the charity. Okay, $2.5 million Fauci's charity, $2.5 million Bobby's charity, $5 million, 3 hours sit down to actually debate, and he can't plead the fifth. If you plead the fifth, the money goes to the other charity of a.
I love how one of the requirements, real quick, is that it needs to be 3 hours. Because whenever it's too short, you could just stick to your talking points. But as soon as it passes an hour, passes 2 hours, all that goes out the window. There's no script, and it's just you and your argument. No talking points, just you and what you know. That's whenever the truth gets revealed. That's whenever the light goes into the shadows. I love it.
RF Kennedy, you have to actually talk. If you want to do that, we'll have that 3 hour. Because to me, like the person that we would like to see is that's the debate. In regards to Bobby, the one thing about Bobby that you have a relationship with him, you've known him a lot longer than I have. This guy's as true believer as possible. I mean, 11 o'clock, I've told the story, 11 o'clock at night, I'm in Texas. They're asking us to get these new vaccines for the kids. I'm like, wait a minute. Now we're going to use religious exemptions. Our kids are going to Christian school. They said you can't do that in Texas. I'm like, what are you talking about? You can use a religious exemption in Texas. I said, we're in Texas. So I text Bobby at 11 o'clock. Hey, do you know anything about this? Boom, calls me. Jen and I are on the phone at 11 o'clock at night for an hour. He's three-waying other people in Texas, and he's finding out that, guess what? You can't. They have to get the vaccine. We came to Florida. You know what we did in Florida with our 3-year-old daughter? Now she's 3. At the time, she was a newborn. Went to the doctor. No, we're not doing this. We're just going to do one. Religious exemption? No problem. Go for it, right? Bobby was on the phone for an hour. Bobby will take any fight at any time. That guy's looking for it because he's a true believer.
Yeah,
there's something very unique about a true believer. But this guy's an establishment guy with all the fancy degrees and all the other stuff that he's done. More power to him. But he's not. He's afraid. He's protected by the establishment.
One of the probably one of my all-time favorite things that someone has ever said about RFK Jr. happened right now in this clip. Patrick Bet David said, Bobby will take any fight at any time. That guy is looking for it because he's a true believer. There's something very unique about a true believer. That is insane. So real quick, obviously, This story made headlines pretty much everywhere. Leading report said breaking news: Patrick David offers Fauci and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. $5 million to donate to a charity of their choice in exchange for participating in a 3-hour debate. And I just love how, like, no one in the comments believes that he's ever actually going to agree with him, because they just know how corrupt he is. They know how fragile he is. Even on this post by Patrick David, whenever he says, "Would you want to see this?" Right? One of the top comments says, "There is a 0% chance Anthony Fauci debates anyone unscripted and who isn't a part of the mainstream media controlled clown show." Mays says Fauci wouldn't do it for $500 million. That is insane. It's very, very telling. And to me, I just had this thought before I started recording, and it was Fauci rejecting this offer effectively means that he cares more about his vanity than actually helping people. Just think about this just for 1 second. If someone were to offer you to just have a 3-hour conversation, well, let's call it a debate. If someone was going to offer you $3 million that goes to charity, right? I hope I said 5. It was 5 million, not 3 million. But if someone is going to offer you that much money to hold an argument in a debate, why wouldn't you do it? That's $5 million going to help real people, real lives that are online. Why wouldn't you do it? Even if you lose, okay, that money is still going to go to a good cause. It's still going to help people. That is insane. And the fact that Fauci is obviously, he's probably not even paying attention to this. He probably doesn't even know this is happening. I think RFK Jr. should immediately say, "Hey, yes, I accept. Let's make it happen," and tag Fauci and say balls in your court. I feel like that's that should immediately happen right now. I think that'd be incredible. Now, the next clip I wanted to share was these guys sitting down, talking about how the Democrats messed up. And before I play that clip, I do want to say, guys, I have a newsletter, and it's really, really awesome. We go ahead and we talk about the same things we do here on this channel, but instead of it being a video, I go ahead and send it straight to your inbox. It is completely free to sign up, and there is a paid option if you want to support me in that way. You absolutely do not have to, but check it out if you want. It's going to be the first link in the description. So look at this. This is almost a minute long, but it is so good. Check this out.
Come to the names recently, like Musk, like Rogan, like Tulsi, like Bobby, these guys. Why do you think they're losing these names?
Yeah, so everything's a little bit different, and every person's different. So Tulsi, I think, was always secretly a right-winger, but Bobby Kennedy Jr. was not. He was definitely a Democrat, right? And so he's a decent example. So Bobby has opinions that a lot of people on the left don't agree with, right? To which I say something revolutionary to the left. So what? Okay, he agrees with us on the environment. He agrees with us on housing, on anti-corruption. He doesn't agree with us on vaccines, fluoride, etc. Right? Why don't we have a conversation with the brother? Why don't we include him? Why don't we do a real primary? And if he wins, he wins. If he loses, he loses. Do you believe in democracy or don't you believe in democracy? And look, he would have easily lost the primary, in my opinion, in the Democratic side. But what the Democrats, and this is a cultural problem, right? So
there's a lot to unpack right here, but I love how in the middle of the clip he says, I'm going to say something revolutionary right now to the left. So what? Who cares? There's so many things that you guys are already in alignment of. Why don't we focus on those things? But no, this is what the Democratic Party loves to do. They like to zero in on something where you mildly disagree with, and they try to discredit you on everything, because Democratic Party, they want everyone to sing the same tune. They want everyone to think the same thing. This is exactly why people are criticizing The View lately, because it's not multiple people's views. It's a singular view, and that's a problem. And people don't like it. The next thing he says that I love is he encourages an actual conversation. He encourages actual substance. He says, no, let's not silence him. let's actually have him as part of the conversation. Let's invite him into the arena, let him put on his armor, and let's actually fight it out. Let's see what happens. Now, I don't agree at the end because he says, I don't think he would have won the primary. I kind of disagree. I mean, we'll see. If it was a fair fight, I think there's a great chance. But another thing I love is he says, the question is, do you believe in democracy or don't you believe in democracy? And I don't know, this reminds me of something that Bernie Sanders said recently whenever Theo Vaughn asked him, do you think we still live in a democracy? And Bernie Sanders says, well, yes and no. For one, I'm going to say yes, because you could run right now if you wanted to run. But we don't, because there's so much money at play. There are so many bureaucrats at play. There are so many things happening behind the curtains that actually eliminate any real chance of someone to actually garner any real support. We saw this happen with RFK Jr. and the weaponization of courts used against him. We saw him not being able to have a real, authentic campaign because he was stuck in a courtroom. So there's a real problem here, and I just love that Cenk is actually talking about it. And check this out. One of the top comments here says, from this post by End Tribalism in Politics, the comment says, Democrats demonize everything that disagrees with them. That is why what Cenk is saying could never happen. Democrats don't care about democracy. So I wanted to relay that question back to everyone who's watching this. How true do you think this is? Do we still live in a democracy? Do Democrats actually care about democracy? I know there's a couple of Democrats who watch this video, and I'd love to see your perspective, but also the independents who watch this. Is that one of the defining reasons why you maybe left the party, because you felt that there wasn't a true battle of ideas? If you felt like it wasn't an actual democracy, let me know. I'm genuinely curious about that. So, and the next thing I wanted to share was, this was obviously about Bernie Sanders kind of lifting up RFK Jr. a bit and giving people the hint that he was going to be voting to confirm him, and not joining Maha, but essentially aligning with that movement. I thought it was really interesting. Check this out.
I've talked to Mr. Kennedy in a number of years, actually. I think what he is saying about the food industry is exactly correct.
CBS News correspondent Natalie Brand, who interviewed Senator Sanders, joins us now. What else did the senator tell you, Natalie, about RFK Jr.?
Major, good to be with you. Well, Senator Sanders, as chair of the HELP committee, has really sounded the alarm on ultra-processed foods and the food and beverage industry, drawing comparisons to the fight against big tobacco decades ago. Interestingly enough, RFK Jr. has also talked a lot about food policy, additives, taking on the food industry. That's something part of his platform. It's taken off online with the Make America Healthy Again movement. So I asked Senator Sanders if that's an area where he could potentially work with the Trump administration if RFK Jr. is confirmed.
I think you have a food industry concerned about their profits, could care less about the health of the American people. I think they have to be taken on. I think, on the other hand, when Mr. Kennedy talks about taking fluoride out of our water system, I think what the scientific community will tell you, that would be a disaster in terms of dental health in this country. His views on vaccine are in very wrong in so many ways. So we will see how the process unfolds. So I think what he's saying about the food industry makes sense to me. A lot of other things that he's saying are extremely dangerous.
So there you have it. Bernie Sanders, he's definitely agreeing on some core areas, but he's a little resistant on some areas, including, him talking about fluoride, right? It's crazy. I never thought that fluoride would be such a hot topic in 2024, and I just love it. I'm having the best time with this whole fluoride conversation. Now, I was actually working on a separate video where I really dive deep on that conversation, and it's so fun. It really is. But Here is what Holden has to say about this. Holden says Bernie Sanders just confirmed to CBS that he's considering supporting RFK Jr. for HHS. And he says Sanders disagreed with Kennedy's positions on fluoride and vaccines, but he did not rule voting to confirm RFK to lead HHS and working with his MAHA, Make America Healthy Again agenda. So I love it. I love to see it. I believe it. I think Bernie Sanders is going to be a key figure in this movement, and I really do think that these guys are going to join forces and create so much good for the future of this country, for the future of public health. And I think we're going to be healthier because of it. I think we're going to enter a new season where people are healthier than they've ever been, and I just think that's incredibly exciting to see. And that is pretty much the whole video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about those conversations. Let me know what you think if Bernie Sanders is actually going to vote to confirm RFK Jr. as head of HHS. Let me know if you think Patrick Bet-David is actually gonna maybe go through with this, or if I should say, better yet, if Anthony Fauci is actually gonna respond to this debate offer, or if you think RFK Jr. should respond to this. I haven't seen any update. I haven't seen any update at all from this. I hope we see it soon. I hope RFK Jr. actually posts about this tonight and say, hey, you know what? I accept. Balls in your court at Anthony Fauci, and that would be incredible. And let me know if you agree with Cenk Uygur, as he says that the Democratic Party messed up by not having an open primary and by not having RFK Jr. as part of that conversation. Let me know, and please go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. It means a lot to me, and I will see you all next time. Oh, also, we're 19 days away from Christmas. All right. So enjoy these days. Enjoy the crisp weather. Enjoy those. What are they called? There's a cranberry drink at Starbucks. It's kind of good. All right. Maha, don't come after me. Every once in a while. Okay. Come on. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Hope you have a good day. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.